Welcome to the Faith and Feelings podcast. My name is Taylor Joy, and I'm passionate about helping you untangle and honor your emotions, authentically practice your faith, and integrate both into your everyday life so that you can experience the goodness and delight that comes from living in relationship with yourself, God, and others. Thank you for joining me. Let's get started. Hi, friends, and welcome back to our Advent series. This December, we've been walking through Bette Dickinson's devotional, Making Room in Advent, 25 Devotions for a Season of Wonder. This week, we're reading days 21 through 25, and each Monday, I'm sharing one of my favorite devotions. Today, we're entering the Christmas story at a moment of awe and amazement. The angels have just appeared to the shepherds with the astonishing news of Jesus' birth. And now, having seen the newborn Savior lying in a manger, the shepherds are filled with wonder. They spread the word of what they have witnessed, while Mary treasures and ponders these things in her heart. In this scene, we encounter the kind of surprise and amazement that invites us to see God's work with fresh eyes. We'll read Luke 2, 15 through 20, and then I'll read Betty's devotion, Making Room for Wonder. Luke 2, 15 through 20. When the angels had left them and gone into heaven, the shepherds said to one another, "Let's go to Bethlehem and see this thing that has happened, which the Lord has told us about." So they hurried off and found Mary and Joseph and the baby, who was lying in the manger. When they had seen him, they spread the word concerning what they had been told about this child, and all who heard it were amazed at what the shepherds said to them. But Mary treasured up all these things and pondered them in her heart. The shepherds returned, glorifying and praising God for all the things they had heard and seen, which were just as they had been told. When the shepherds say, "Let's see this thing that has happened," the Greek word used for see here is horeo, instead of the more common word for see, blepo. Jesus distinguishes these two words later in his life, when he references Isaiah 6:9 in that mysterious verse. They may be ever seeing, blepo, but never perceiving, horeo. Mark 4:12. Blepo is to see with physical eyes, to see things at face value. But blepo doesn't necessarily involve the mind or heart. In contrast, horeo is to see with the mind, to perceive and to know. It is to see the meaning of something more deeply than what is on the outside. It involves spiritual perception. We know this difference, don't we? It is the difference between seeing a newborn and beholding the miracle of new life. It is the difference between seeing the silhouettes of trees on the snow and being so captivated by the stillness of them that we hold our breath. It is the difference between seeing the face of our loved ones and perceiving the divine in them. And this horeo way of seeing is what leads us to wonder and astonishment. On the surface, the scene the shepherds came upon in the manger was anything but wonderful. To the physical eyes, it was a lowly place filled with lowly people. Likely a cave hollowed out in someone's backyard filled with a few animals. Joseph, the ordinary carpenter, Mary, an ordinary mother from Nazareth, and their newborn son in a feeding trough. But as we all know, at this moment, the extraordinary radiates beneath the ordinary. It is the light of the world illuminating the darkness. It is the God who formed us from dust, taking on the dust of our flesh. It is heaven's glory filling a small, simple manger. The shepherds perceive what is happening here, and they are so filled with wonder, they cannot keep it to themselves. They must share this story. And all who heard it were, as the New Living Translation puts it, astonished including Mary with them, who treasured up all these things and pondered them in her heart. The wonder of the shepherds also leads them to worship. They return to the fields, glorifying and praising God for all the things they had heard and seen. At this time, worship was often confined to the temple, but God burst out of the walls of religious expectations to commune with those on the margins. This notion led the shepherds to awe-filled praise. The word for astonishment in verse 18 is translated by the Blue Letter Bible as to wonder at, admire, and marvel. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you were so filled with wonder you couldn't keep it to yourself? When was the last time you were so bewildered by God you couldn't stop praising Him? Sometimes the Christmas story can feel so rote for those of us who have heard it again and again. Over time, we can fail to perceive it in a way that leaves us astonished. Brian Zand writes about this in his book, Beauty Will Save the World. We have removed astonishment from the gospel. We have replaced astonishment with something a bit tamer. We have made the gospel reasonable, sensible, and practical. Evangelism takes on the tone of a multi-level marketing presentation. Some buy it, some don't, but not many are astonished. When I become numb by what I think I know about God, I need to be recaptivated by the astonishment of the incarnation. And the shepherds help me get there. Like them, I want to be so captivated by God that I can't help but share in ways that lead others to marvel too. I want my heart to be so filled with awe that I am led to worship. Astonishment begets astonishment, but it starts with us and the way we see. We must learn how to see beyond our physical eyes and perceive with eyes wide to wonder. Only then will we truly see. As we end, here is a question to ponder. When was the last time you were filled with wonder about God? Let's end with a breath prayer. Inhale, you fill the world with wonder. And exhale, may I perceive you everywhere. I'm so grateful that you listened to today's episode. Thank you for spending time with me. I'd love to hear from you. Connect with me on Instagram @TaylorJoy or through my website, taylorjoymurray.co. Also, if you enjoyed this conversation, it would mean so much to me if you took a minute to subscribe and review the podcast. This is an easy way to partner with me and is invaluable in reaching new listeners. Until next week.